Chapter 13. The Thinking Story. Is all action the result of thought? Do our thoughts determine the condition of our lives? If so, then in order to have better conditions in our lives, we must organize our thoughts carefully. We wish to gain the best in life, but do we know how to think correctly? The average person thinks at random. He has no clear design in his mind to which he can frame his thoughts. If he does have a design, he does not direct his daily efforts towards it. Most of his thinking is beyond control, chaotic, unorganized, and unfocused. He is influenced and distracted by the TV, social media, newspapers, radio, sport, and idle chatter. Could this be why disappointment and failure are always near? Do these things promote indecision and confusion? We only attract what we think and create. How could it be any other way? If what you are looking for is looking for you, and it is, then do you actually know what it is that you are looking for? To achieve success, we must clearly see our goal. We must think it, we must study it, we must feel it, we must speak it before we can become it. To rise above any limitation, past history, loss, and grief, we must build a clear picture of our desired outcome and organize our thinking along constructive lines. Do you have a definite chief aim for your life? Do you say, I used to have dreams and goals, but they never worked out for me, so I guess I just gave up on them? Or, I'm just afraid of things going wrong, so I'll stay with the safe option? Do you have a life mission? Is there one thing that is deep inside you that you feel you must do? Do you have a passion, a desire, a way you want to spend your time? If you answer yes, then where did it come from? Did you suddenly dream it up? Did you find it by accident? Or has it always been there, like it's your future self calling out to you? Could there be something that you were born to do? If you are meant to do something, then surely you have also been given the tools and gifts to achieve it. However, you must accept that you are worthy of it, and then be willing to fight for it. And by fight, I mean that you are willing to face the challenges as they are presented to you. I have seen and heard of people who, when presented with a crisis in their lives that forced them to reconsider the path they were on, discovered their true calling in those moments of pain and confusion. Those times can be, as I've often called them, character-building times. And that building of character often places you in a position to ascertain the very thing you had been putting aside for years. Once you start moving towards it, it will move towards you. Doors will open for you. Unexpected opportunities will present themselves to you. You will need to quell the fears that rise up in you, the fear that you are making a mistake, the fear that you will fail. These fears are common to all who choose to go on this adventure. When fear knocks on your door and belief answers, there is no one there. Get a clear picture of your mission. Here's a way to look at it. If I was talking to you in your kitchen, and I offered you a large amount of money to hit a target that I had set up in a field across the road from your house, with a bow and 10 arrows, you would probably feel like you had a fair chance of success, even if you were unfamiliar with archery. You would likely consider, what would it cost me to try? And if you thought you had nothing to lose, you would accept the challenge. We will come back to that method of decision-making below, but for now, let's carry on with the story. So, we walk to the field, only for you to discover that it is completely covered in fog. You can't see the target. You believe it's out there, but you are not sure of its exact location. Do you fire the 10 arrows anyway and hope for the best? Sounds a bit like depending on a lottery win. Now let's say when you get to the field that you can see the target. It's a little distance away and you are no expert with a bow and arrow. So, you fire the first arrow. It's a bit short of the target and to the right a little. Would you judge that as a failure? Would you give up or try again? Would you be encouraged by the fact that you have 9 more arrows? How many chances do you think you have for getting to your ideal life? So, you put a bit more strength into the second arrow and turn a bit to the left. This time the arrow is straighter, but you overshoot the target. With the third arrow, you make some more adjustments based on the results of the last 2, and so on. Each shot could be seen as a failure, or you could get excited that with each shot you learn how to adjust your aim, getting ever closer to the target. What are the chances that at some point, by continually focusing on the target and making the adjustments after each shot, you will eventually hit it? Pretty good. I think. What if you were to get the coordinates of the target and set it up in your cybernetic system? It would be like a heat-seeking missile, continually correcting its course until you hit the target. Have you been living your life in a fog like I was, having no real target or no sight of one? Have you been firing aimlessly in the hope that you'll get lucky someday? Perhaps you believe you are talented but don't know what target to aim at. Or perhaps you think you are not very talented and don't want to choose a target for fear of looking foolish. Trust me on this. If you set a specific target, embrace a willingness to try, take some guidance, make an agreement with yourself that you will learn from your mistakes, make some adjustments and not give up, you will. Step by step, move closer to your goal and at the very least, be more successful and a lot happier for trying. That's what changing the trajectory of your life is all about. Do you agree? So, are your decisions based on what you have to lose or what you can gain? Do you limit your opportunities because of fear of loss? Would you agree that the correct understanding of sacrifice is giving up something good in order to have something great? Is it not true that if you only risk a little, you only win a little? Let me be clear here. I'm not suggesting you gamble on anything. I'm suggesting that if you want to change some things in your life, then you are going to have to change some things in your life. You are going to have to get out of your comfort zone, feel vulnerable, alone, and until you have grown your faith, feel a little exposed. People generally fall into one of two categories, builders or drifters. Can you identify which category you are currently in? If your life is not where you would like it to be, could it be because you are not controlling your thinking? Where would you like it to be anyway? A man becomes what he thinks about all day. If you allow your thoughts to drift, by which I mean to wander without direction, then your life will follow this course without direction. When you can see the invisible, believe the incredible, and expect the extraordinary, you can achieve the impossible. The old saying, "stuck in a rut," is believed to have come from the pioneers of the 1800s when crossing America in their wagons. Because there were no proper roads, the ground would get cut up and very muddy. When the ground was dry, the ruts that the wagon wheels left would go very hard. It was very important when leaving one town for another that you chose your rut carefully, because the wagon wheels would literally get stuck in a rut, and you had little choice but go to wherever the rut went. Today, the "stuck in a rut" saying usually applies to people who just do the same things day in, day out, and even though they might not be happy with their lot in life, can't break out of the rut because of lack of confidence, belief in themselves, or simply because they can't be bothered. How many people do you know who took a summer job as a teenager just to earn some money and 20 years later are still in the same job, not because they love it, but because they got stuck in a rut? We often need a sudden shock, an abrupt stop, a major disaster, or a critical loss to jump us out of our rut. This situation offers us a chance for review and consider a fresh start or a collapse into a hole. We can choose to give up or use the opportunity to drive on in a new direction. You know those times when you just don't feel like yourself? Use them to your advantage. Don't view failure as a negative. Very often it's our enemy that points out the weak areas in our lives that need strengthening. Take the lesson, learn from it, then flush the negative feelings you felt and move on. Often the key to our success is to be found in the very place we wouldn't naturally choose to go. Picture this scene. A man is sitting in his rocking chair on his porch outside his home, slowly rocking to and fro and puffing on his pipe. His hound dog lies lazily beside him. A passing neighbor calls in for a chat and sits on the other chair on the porch. As the conversation goes on, the hound raises his head and lets out a cry, shifts a little, then settles down again. The neighbor looks at the dog's owner but sees no reaction. A little later, the dog again lifts his head and lets out a cry, shifts a little, and settles down again. The neighbor asks the dog's owner, "Is your dog okay?" "Ah, yes," says the owner, "he's just lying on a nail." "Lying on a nail," exclaims the neighbor. "Why doesn't he get up if it's hurting him?" The owner laughs and says, "It's not hurting him enough to do anything about it. It's just hurting enough for him to moan and groan." Ouch. Does that sound familiar? Do we just like to moan and groan with what life is giving us instead of getting up and sorting it out? Start with a well-defined aim or objective, your definite chief aim in life. Keep it alive in your mind. Let it grow. Set aside specific time to think, read, learn, and gain understanding of whatever that subject is. Imagine it being part of your life. Add your emotions to that image. Plan how you could bring it into your life. See yourself in it. Build your story around it. Disappointment, even failure along the way will now be seen as an alert to alter the trajectory and not a reason to give up. Measurable progress in reasonable time. Knowledge and understanding will replace fear and ignorance. Anxiety and apprehension will be replaced with hope and courage and an excitement for the future. Life with all its circumstances will no longer be an enigma, but a clear interpretation of your thinking story. We are what we are, according to our state of thinking. The starting place for the work we need to do is on the inside. We need to be intentional in our thinking. How can we do that? We could start by looking to adjust our environment, associate with people who want to explore new avenues, choose a night course in a subject that interests you, read books and listen to audios that make you think, and by attending seminars are all great ways to get the ball rolling. Allow your mind to explore the things you would love to do. Get into a quiet place. Sit comfortably. No distractions. And build a room in your mind where you would love to go. For example, build a cabin on a beach. Decorate it carefully with the things you love to have around you, like photos of your loved ones, flowers, your favorite chair, your coffee pot, and maybe even your slippers. Feel the sun beaming into the room, the sound of the waves gently lapping onto the beach, maybe the tinkle of a bell on a boat moored beside your room. Get your senses and emotions involved. Whatever would put you into a very relaxed space. Build it thoughtfully and with lots of detail. This will be your go-to place to think, be creative, solve issues, make your plans. Positive role plays with some situations you might be facing, imagining how they will turn out well for you. Maybe even meeting some imaginary wise person who you can discuss things with. Some people find this a good place to pray and seek guidance from their God. You will feel refreshed and energized with even a few minutes each day in that place. As you get into the habit of directing your thoughts with focus and purpose, you will find you are much more in tune with possibilities and opportunities, and you will be amazed at how often they show up. As you will see in the next section, they may have been always there in front of you. You simply didn't recognize them. The progress of an individual is governed by his ruling mental state. Give your mental life to those matters that are absolutely essential to your welfare. There is only one corner of the universe that we can change. That is our thoughts. My dad always said, get as high up the decision-making chain as you can, where those decisions affect your life and living. Wise words indeed. Have a clear and sound reason for all the beliefs you hold. Watch out for what's true and the truth. They are often not the same thing. What you see from your perspective in any given situation, which is based on your current knowledge and understanding of the situation, is true to you, however, it may not be the truth. Your emotions connect to your thoughts. What your emotions cause you to think depends on your self-image, environment, beliefs, values, culture, and temperament. Those thoughts then come up as feelings. Those feelings come out your mouth as words, and your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits become your character, and your character becomes your destiny. Quote, "Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." You have power over what you believe, but be careful because what you believe has power over you.